Thanks for joining us. I'm Drew Carney, and we start our news coverage this afternoon in Florida, where the judge presiding over the classified documents case against former President Donald Trump dismissed the prosecution this morning. This was one of 4 criminal cases the former president has had to face. U.S. District Judge Aileen Cannon sided with defense lawyers who said the special counsel who filed the charges against former President Trump was illegally appointed by the Justice Department. Today's decision could still be appealed, though, and potentially overturned by a higher court. This news, of course, comes just 2 days after an assassination attempt against the former president during a rally in Pennsylvania. Federal agents say the motive of the alleged shooter, who we just saw a few moments ago, 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, remains unclear. 3 senior U.S. law enforcement officials have confirmed, though, that he used a semi-automatic rifle to fire at least 8 shots before Secret Service snipers took him out. Former President Trump says the upper part of his right ear was pierced by a bullet during that shooting. There is no time to rest, though, because today marks the start of this week's Republican National Convention in Wisconsin. KGW's Ashley Grams has more after speaking to a local delegate who's representing Oregon at the convention.
This morning, tens of thousands of people will gather at the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. One of them is Gabriel Buehler, an Oregon delegate traveling from Washington County.
Being part of something that was prescribed by the founding fathers in the Electoral College in the Constitution, that's right up there. It takes the cake for me.
The convention begins just 2 days after a gunman attempted to assassinate former President Donald Trump during a campaign rally.
Everybody's really happy and thankful to God that his life was spared and it wasn't taken from us. We all know that he has more to do to help this country.
Buehler blames hateful rhetoric and the media for the violence. On Sunday, Trump landed in Milwaukee. A member of his communications team posted this video. He pumps his fist in the air, walking off the plane. The former president saying in a post on Truth Social that he cannot allow a potential assassin to change his schedule or anything else.
We will continue to assess the security environment and adapt our security measures as appropriate.
The Secret Service assuring the public they're prepared and confident in the security plan they have in place.
There's a presence here everywhere, like everywhere. So I feel very safe.
As the convention begins, Buehler says it's truly an opportunity for everyone to come together.
It's about all of us. It's not just about which side you're on. And that's the problem that's going on right now.
In Portland, Ashley Grams, KGW News.
One of the biggest questions for the Republican Party remains who former President Trump will select as his running mate. While it's not confirmed that his decision will come at all during the convention, there is some speculation that an announcement could happen as early as today. Later tonight, we know this much for sure. Right here on KGW, Lester Holt will sit down with President Biden for an exclusive one-on-one interview. You can watch a preview during NBC Nightly News at 5:30, followed by the full unedited interview at 6 o'clock. Then at 6:30, we're going to bring you NBC's special coverage of the Republican National Convention. And after all of that, we'll come back for a special hour of local news beginning at 9 o'clock. All right, we're going to take a quick break from our news headlines here to check in with Chris McGinnis in the Weather Center. Hello there, Mr. Chris. What are you taking a look at there today?
Good afternoon, Drew. Let's give you the live look from Wells Fargo. Why not? It is clear now over downtown Portland, so the morning cloud cover that we had has now burned off. It's 73, by the way, last check at PDX, and where that compares to yesterday at this time when we were in the 90s in the afternoon. We're a good 6 to 8 degrees cooler at the lunch hour up and down the I-5 corridor right now compared to 24 hours ago. So that lends well to our forecast today, which is cooler. It keeps Portland out of the 90s, but not by much. Let's check out the visible satellite imagery here over the last little while. You can see that little cloud cover up through the mouth of the Columbia River. Still some clouds along the North Oregon and South Washington coast, but outside of that, the morning cloud deck has burned off, and we are now 73, as we mentioned, at the airport, 74 in Hillsborough. And over the next 6 hours, now that the sun is out, that July sun is strong, and it will get us well into the 80s, we think, this afternoon. Somewhere between about 86 and 88 degrees is our forecast high for today. Air quality in Portland, it's good right now. I did want to point out, though, that there are some locations across the state where it is not good. Here's a look at air quality centers across the region, and well, they disappeared on me, but we've got some unhealthy air showing up out towards the Burns area, and we also have air quality alerts for portions of the Columbia Basin. We'll talk more about this and talk about hotter weather in our forecast going into tomorrow. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Chris, we look forward to that. Right now, though, we want to get to some of this afternoon's local headlines. The Portland Public School District announced its new chief of staff today. New superintendent, Dr. Kimberly Armstrong, revealed that the new chief of staff will be Deborah Kafoury. Kafoury brings more than 2 decades of public service to this role, most recently serving 14 years on the Multnomah County Board of Commissioners, including 8 years as chair. Her first elected office was in the Oregon House of Representatives, where she also served as House Democratic leader for 2 years. Her first day as Portland Public Schools chief of staff is tomorrow.
I woke up to the smell of smoke. It was really scary. I grabbed my cat and my Rick Owens and I ran out of the apartment.
That woman woke up to a fire in her apartment this morning. It happened just after 9 o'clock on Southeast 12th and Madison. Firefighters say the fire was burning in the attic of an apartment unit right above the bathroom, causing a ceiling fan to fall down. Crews were able to arrive within minutes, though, and no one was injured, although officials say at least one pet is still missing. There's no word yet on what exactly started the fire. We're still tracking several wildfires in the central and eastern parts of Oregon, including the Larch Creek fire, which has forced the evacuation of nearly 1,000 homes. The Wasco County Sheriff's Office says crews are focused on holding down fire lines at this point. It's grown to more than 18,000 acres and is still only 8% contained. More than 900 people are battling this fire, with the estimated cost already over $7 million. East of the Larch Creek fire, the Lone Rock fire burns in Gilliam County. This one has quickly grown to more than 22,000 acres. Evacuation orders are also in place for some spots in that area. It covers more than 37 miles, making it the 3rd largest active wildfire in the state. The Oregon State Fire Marshal's office says it's sending a task force in to assist local firefighters. The Emergency Conflagration Act is in effect for what's known as the Falls Fire. This one is burning in the Malheur National Forest and is forcing evacuations in both Grant and Harney counties. The fire was first spotted last Wednesday and has since burned at least 56,000 acres of timber and tall grass. We spoke to a meteorologist who specializes in fire weather conditions. He told us present conditions should have everyone thinking about a worst-case scenario plan.
Regardless of whether you've got a wildfire in your immediate area or not, it's always good to have your affairs in order, have your necessary evacuation items just ready to go, know where everything's at, because you never know when a fire is going to start and how fast it's going to move towards your residence.
Much of the Malheur National Forest and roads surrounding the Falls Fire are closed to the public. Even further east, crews are still struggling to get the Cow Valley fire under control. This one is burning in northern Malheur County, and it remains uncontained after burning through nearly 130,000 acres of dry brush and grass. Fire officials and firefighters across the state are asking the rest of us to make matters better, not worse.
Mother Nature is going to be bringing some potential for thunderstorms over the next few days. So firefighters already have their hands full as it is with the lightning threat. So anything that folks can do to limit their creation of fires on the landscape is going to help those firefighters out tremendously.
More resources have been ordered to help with the Cow Valley fire as well. Along the Oregon coast, the U.S. Coast Guard suspended its search for 2 people who went missing after their boat capsized in Astoria. This is some video right here that was sent in by a fisherman in that area. The Coast Guard told KGW that 5 people went overboard when a 26-foot pleasure craft hit the Columbia River bar around 10:30 Saturday morning. 3 of them were pulled from the water. 2 of them survived and are okay, but the 3rd person died at the scene.
My understanding of the situation is that it happened fairly quickly. And the Columbia River Bar is an incredibly dangerous area, especially if you're either unfamiliar or unaware, or even if the tides and the weather just aren't in your favor.
It's still not clear what actually caused that boat to capsize.